Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm from Switzerland, love from Lizi addict and very happy to have become a member of Lizi's design team. Today I'll show you what I did with the March kit from Love from Lizi. I also want to say a big thank you for all the lovely, kind comments on my last video. It was really motivating, and yeah, thank you all. For card number 1, I stamped this giant stamp with some Versamark ink on a card base, a grey card base. Then I embossed it with some white embossing powder. I taped a border with some low-tack purple tape. Then I stamped with Deepest Sympathy stamp from my stash. This is in German because I'm from Switzerland. In German that means herzliches Beileid. And I heat embossed it also in white. After the embossing, I removed the purple tape. And with a Swiffer dust cleaner I cleaned the card from the baby powder. Here you see me draw a line in white, yeah, and then in black, because the white didn't work that well. And I draw a black line, a black border, but that, yeah, I don't like it, and I thought maybe in the end I like it, and I colored then the flowers in with some metallic pens, which you can get in Lizi's shop. I have a link down in my description box if you're interested. I really like that because the colors fit as well, and you can color on some dark cardstock, also on black cardstock. I think they work perfect on a Sympathy card because the colors aren't so bright. As I said, I didn't like the black line, so I glued over the edges with the green peel-offs from the kit. And this is the finished card. The second card is kept simpler. I stamped a birthday stamp, schönen Geburtstag, on some pattern paper from the kit. I used this green pearlescent paper from the kit and glued the border down to my card. For main cards I usually keep back the colors, which was a little bit different with this kit because of all the elves and flowers and pink tones. I glued this fern paper on my card and also a piece of pearlescent cardstock, and then my sentiment. For a little bit decoration I glued those buttons on my card, and that's the second card. third card is the most elaborate card. I sketched out different papers with a circle die, and I used those fairies from the decoupage sheet. I was going for a spinner card here, and for that I used some thin transparent silk thread and glued the elves or fairies on top of this silk thread. I also used this circle cutout. Then I glued with some double-sided adhesive tape this thread on my panel. Then I glued the frame to the panel. From the back I removed the glue residues with some baby powder. Then I make sure that my fairy can move. For that I snip a little bit from the frame with some scissors away. And then I glue down the panel on my card base. With some double-sided tape I stuck a glitter tape from the kit on my card. I glued those birthday wishes on my card, and I used one of the magic wands and glued them with some hot glue on my card. I used the Nuvo drops and put some pearls on my card, and that's the card. The fourth card should become a wedding card. I stamped with Versamark on some white pearlescent paper and embossed the whole thing with golden embossing powder. This powder is from a previous kit from Lizi, and I also have linked it in the description box if you're interested. Then I stamped a greeting and also embossed it with some gold embossing powder. Here you see me blend with some Distress Oxide ink. It is a really light blue, and the camera don't shows that well. I then put with some double-sided adhesive tape my panel down and decorate it with some sequins from the kit, and that's the card. For the next card I used a stencil, and with some Versamark I heat embossed with some glitter embossing powder from my stash the love sentiment from the stencil. This is a clear embossing powder with some glitter in, and that's why you don't see that much at this time. I also stamped this beautiful dandelion stamp from the kit and some of these little, I don't know how to pronounce those, maybe you can leave it in a comment how you say to these little things. Then I knew it for the next time. I heat embossed it also with some glitter powder, and then with some blue Distress Oxide ink I ink blend on this white pearlescent card. The way this card has a very special background. A member of the Love from Lizi team has problems with her back, and I will send her this card as a good get well soon card and send her some courage and consolation and some blessings with this card. And I really hope she will like it. Here you can see the shimmer of the embossing powder. I stamped the word sending with some black ink, StazOn ink, and then I glued the panel on a dark blue card base. I cut out the fairy one time from some silver pearlescent cardstock and 2 times from some white cardstock and glue them together so I have a little bit more dimension on my card. And that's the finished card. This card is supposed to be a baby card. I punched out a circle of some pearlescent silver cardstock and heat embossed with white embossing powder a sentiment. Alles Gute zur Geburt. That means best wishes to the birth. Then I stamped those little things from the dandelion and heat embossed it also with white embossing powder. I glued a ribbon on this beautiful pearlescent pattern paper from the kit. Glued then the panel on this pearlescent silver card panel. Glue them all together on a light blue card base. From the third card I have left this gray circle and glue them on this card, and also glue the sentiment down on my card. I really have to use this little cute fairy, this pearlescent fairy on this card, and also the butterfly button from the kit. And this is the finished baby card. Card number 7 is also going to be a baby card. I used those butterfly wreath sticker from the kit and glued it on some acetate. Then I cut this out with my scissors and glued the second wreath from the kit onto this acetate foil too. Here I punched out a circle from a panel and glue this on my card base. I get some sequins on my card and take some of the bigger sequins away. With some double-sided foam adhesive, I glued this window down on my card. Sentiment is the same as in card number 6, but in this time I heat embossed it with some silver embossing powder. Then I glued the sentiment onto my card. I also glued this butterfly from the kit onto the card, and that's the finished card. For card number 8 I used this stencil again, but this time I used the word thanks with a little sponge. I daubed onto the stencil with the Nubo drops from the kit. Maybe I would use some darker Nuvo drops next time, but I think it turned out really pretty because of the shimmer of the Nuvo drops. I then put together this decoupage motif. In Switzerland and Germany we call that 3D picture because they are really dimensional in the end. I then stamp a lot and glue down a golden pearlescent frame onto the dark blue card base. Then I glue down the panel that I have prepared with the thanks a lot sentiment, and then I glue down this picture on the card. With the Nuvo drops I put a pearl in every corner from the card, and that's the finished card. For card number 9 I really want to use this decoupage motif because I really like this fairy. So I put down this together with the 3D foam pads from the kit. You really don't have to use every step from this decoupage motif, but I think the effect is really cool, and so I put all steps and have a really thick picture at the end. With some double-sided adhesive tape I put this ribbon onto my card, and I glued some patterned paper leftover circles from previous cards onto this card. Here you see a little fail that you don't see in the video but I used this circle on this card and also this cute picture from the fairy. I also glued down this little shaker fairy dust bottle, and that is my card. For the last card I want to use this pearlescent pattern paper from the kit, and I glue the panel down onto my card base. On this little gold pearlescent paper I glued down some from the green ribbon from the kit. And then glued this panel down to my card. I used this sticker for my sentiment, and then I stamped this fairy with some memento ink. Here you see me coloring the fairy in with some Copics. I show those Copics at the end of the video, where I show all different things I used. I used some red, blue and green pale colors to match the colors from the design paper. Here you see me using with a regularly brushed some Wink of Stella, because I have to press too hard on the originally pen. Then I glued this fairy down with some double-sided foam adhesive and also glued down the little butterfly. I then used some sequins for a little bit of decoration. And this is my last card. Here you can see all 10 cards a little bit nearer. I really want to know which one is your favorite card, and here I show the spinner card. I read every comment, and it is always very motivating for me. And yeah, I hope you leave a comment down below and give me a thumbs up if you liked my video. The March kit is sold out, but I have links down below if you wanna subscribe to the kits in the future, or if you're looking for some really cool embossing powders that Lizi have in her shop. Here you can see the stamp sets that I used for my German sentiments. I always use much of German sentiments because my mother language is German. And so this is the Distress Oxide I've used, the tumble glass. I used StazOn ink, Versamark ink and Memento ink. I used this Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. This is available in Lizi's shop too. I have a link in the description box. These are the embossing powders I've used from Lizi. And here are the Copic colors that I used to color the fairy. I used some Wink of Stella, the clear one. And those are these metallic pencils I talked about that I used for my first card. Those are all the leftovers. I have much of this pearlescent paper. I have some scraps from the pattern paper, also 6 full sheets from the pattern paper from the kit. I have those sheets with the decoupage. The stencil, the peel-off stickers, the ribbon, buttons, the fairy die, those shaker elements, these cute fairies, sequins, 2 of the wands, and these 3D foam tapes, foam pads. I also have left over really much of these stickers. I have the fairy stamp and the giant stamp set from this kit. I really hope you liked my video, and I hope my English will get better if I practice. Bye!